Guys, welcome guys on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss on the topic that is the history of Kalapani dispute between India and Nepal. So let's know about Nepal and India dispute. Moving on. The issue is itself goes back to early 19th century when the British rules India and Nepal was the conglomerations of the small kingdom under the reign of King Prithvi Narayan Shah. As a Nepal unveiled a new map of its territory this week, the country's land management minister Padma Ariel called it historical pleasant occasion. However, the move drew sharp criticism from the India, which said the map include the part of Indian territory, and this unilateral act is not based on historical fact and evidence, said the Ministry of External Affairs (ME). And this battle over the historical accuracy of the geographical territory is one of that has been brewing between the two neighboring countries for the past several decades now. And the bone of the contention is the Kalapani and Limpidura and Limpu Lake tri-junctions between Nepal, India and China. Located on the bank of river Kali at an altitude of 3,600 meters, and the Kalapani territory lies at the eastern border of Uttarakhand in India and the Nepal Sudur Pashchim Pradesh in the west. Now, India claims the area is the part of Uttarakhand Pittorgarh district, while the Nepal believes it to be the part of Darchulla district. Matters came to boil earlier this year when the India opened an 80-kilometer roads linking Uttarakhand with Lipulekh across the disputed piece of land. And while the territory of strategic importance to the India and Nepal, the issue is complicated by the contest over the historical cartographic evidence that both sides claim to be most accurate. And the issue is itself goes back to early 19th century when the British ruled India and Nepal was conglomerations of small kingdom under the reign of King Prithvi Narayan Shah. Here you can see the picture where the Anglo-Nepalese war came to an end with the signing of Sogawali Treaty, and the treaty delimited the boundaries of Nepal as it stands today. Both you can see in the picture both sides, the army of British army are standing in a very attention position, and some officers talking with each others with king and some responsible persons and signing the treaty. So you can see the picture very clearly on the screen. Okay, now moving on, the British-Nepalese relations. Historian John Whelpton in his exotic work The History of Nepal writes the single image most commonly associated with the history of the modern Nepal is surely that of the Prithvi Narayan Shah of the Gorkha, credited for the battle. Look for determination in his eyes, and his right hand the pointed sky towards Shah is believed to be the most ambitious rulers among the Gorkhas, under whose rules in the late 18th century Nepal was unified. Its domain stretching out as far as Sikkim in the east and Garhwal and Kumaon region of Uttarakhand the west. By the second decade of 18th century, the English East India Company too had acquired the formidable presence in the subcontinent, had the strengthened its main base in the Madras, Calcutta, Bombay. By the early 19th century, as the EIC began expanding its territory northwards in Awadh, it came into the close proximity with Palpa, an independent town within the Nepalese heartland, and soon after a border dispute arose between the two powers. The Nepalese were also proving to be a hindrance in allowing the British to realize their trade ambition with Tibet. And here you can see the picture of Prithvi Narayan Shah is the believed to be a most ambitious rulers among the Gorkhas, under whose rules in the late 18th century Nepal was unified, its domain stretching out as far as Sikkim in the east and the Garhwal and the Kumaon region of Uttarakhand in the west. So this king looking like very, you know, furtila king and very handsome boy. Finally, on November 1, 1814, the British declared war on Nepal, and the war went on for the next 2 years, involving a series of campaigns in the 1815. And the British journal Sir David Ochterlony managed to evict the Nepalese from the Garhwal and Kumaon. Early a year later, the war came to an end with the signing of Sukholi Treaty, and the treaty delimited the boundaries of Nepal as it stands today. As explained by Whelpton, the treaty required Nepal to give up all the territory west and east of its present-day border, to surrender the entire Tarai, to accept the permanent British representatives or residence in Kathmandu. And the fifth articles of the treaty stated, the Raja of Nepal renounced for himself, his heirs and successors all claim to or connection with countries lying to the vast river Kalis, and engages never to have any concern with those countries or inhabitants thereof. Now you can see the picture where the map of India, Nepal, this is the China and plus Tibet, and this is the empire of Gorkhas. This is the Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Okay, and this is the Lucknow, Delhi, Kumaon, Garhwal, Dehradun, and Kalapani will be this point. This point will be a Kalapani point. So it's a tri-junction where the China, Nepal and India border meets. Okay. While some scholars suggest that the lake of the conscience is due to the shift in the course of the river over the time, there are the other who say that the British cartographers in the consequent years kept shifting the line demarcating in the river eastward for the strategic reason. Here you can see very clearly the present day international boundaries. So you can see this is the international boundaries. Okay, and the national capital, the national capitals and populated area. So this is the whole things which is cover some of facts. Okay, moving. Consequently, the river Kali marked the western border of the Nepal. However, there is no clear consequence on what is the precise location of the river Kali, giving rise to a dispute over whether the land or consisting the Kalapani, Limthura and Lipu lakes is a part of present-day India or Nepal. And while some scholars suggest that the lake of consequences is due to the shift in the course of river over times, there are others who say that the British cartographer in the consequent years kept setting the lines demarcating the rivers eastwards for a strategic reason. And here I'm asking one question, is a Kalapani in India or Nepal? The Kalapani is a territory, is an area disputed between India and Nepal, but under Indian administrations as a part of Pittorgarh districts and Uttarakhand states. And according to Nepal's claims, it lies in Darchulla district, Sudur Pashchim Pradesh. Okay, so you can see this is the Kalapani, this is the Kalapani, and this is the district of Nepal, Darchulla, and here is the Pittorgarh, India district. So the both countries are claiming each other's And so this type of a dispute create between two nations. They are very friendly nation, and it is a tri-junction. Here you can see it is a Tibet, and it is a Nepal, and this is the India. Okay. The content over the history of maps. Nepalese geographers Mangal Siddhi Mandhar and Hridayal Lal Koirala in their work Nepal-India boundary issues. River Kali as international boundary claim that the since no map attached with the Songoli Treaty and signed by the both agreeing and the parties come to light, and the way you ascertain the correct location of Kali is to examining the existing map on the period. And map according to the map, and there is a according to the map, up until the 1817s, and map on produced, and the British cartographer suggested the origin of the Kali River lies in the Limdura Pass, but in the period of 1857 and 1881, the subtitle deliberately, and the river Kali got underway, and the right Mandar and Koirala. Both geographers maintain that the cartographic moves on the part of British was unauthorized and unliteral. This is the point they are noted. Okay, without any agreement with the government of Nepal. You can underline this all things. Okay, now moving. The dispute over the location of the rivers, consequently, and that of the territory of Kalapani was the first raised by the Nepalese government only in 1998. Even when Indian military units occupied the Kalapani area during the Sino-Indian War of 1962, Nepal did not raise an objection. Okay, and Nepal virtually ignored the Kalapani on 1961 and 1997, but for the domestic political reason it became the convenient India-Nepal controversy in 1998, writes political scientist Leo E. Rose in his articles Nepal and Bhutan's in 1998 and two Himalayan kingdom. Okay, and according to the Nepalese government content that the western border of the country be shifted in the 5.5 kilometer westward to coincide with the border as decided in the Treaty of Songli. Officially in India, on other hand, the claim revenue record dating back in 8030s, so the Kalapani area has traditionally been administered as the part of Pittorgarh district. So both countries claiming each other's, and you can see this is the Kalapani where there is a Nepal. It is a Nepal here, Nepal, and this is the Tibet. Okay, and it is a India. You can see this is the Nepal, this is the Tibet, and which is the part of China. So you can see this is the Chinese border. Whole is a Chinese border. This is a tri-junction. Okay, so this is the problem which is generated, and this is the Kalapani. Moving on. Scholar Alok Kumar Gupta in his article for his Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies Kalapani in the Bone of Contention in India between the Nepal explained the British India conducted the first regular survey of the upper reaches of the river Kali in the 1830s, and according a vintage map of 1879 shows the Kalapani is the part of India, and the Indian government has held the 1879 map is what should be the considered in deciding the border between two countries rather than the maps before the period were held up by the Nepal. And this different amount in a reality to difference in maps that each country possessed, which further exacerbated by the shifting of course of Mahakali rivers in the area that was earlier accepted as the boundary of Rights Kutta. In the course of the last several decades, the border issues has come up on the several occasions despite the repeated negotiation, and the two countries have failed to reach consequences. Moving. Thank you guys. If you like my channel, please subscribe, share and like. And also if you want to get notification, then hit the bell icon so you can get the notification on right time when I upload any video related to any current issues. I hope you enjoy my all video which I make for you. I hope your all confusion has cleared. So thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care. Love you.